Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bandit's Den. Well, I won't be surprised if this video gets like 0 views because this is my second posting in a year. Last time I talked to y'all, I was embarking on a quest to reproduce. Well, that quest led me to some interesting places to meet some interesting people. And I just got back to the States from my first trip to another country. My first one ever, essentially. 'Cause I went to Cancun a long time ago, but come on, that's like Mexican America. I really went to another country in November, and I just got back, yeah, about a month ago, and it was pretty wild. It was pretty crazy going on a journey like that by myself, and I saw other men doing the same thing to this country. It's pretty interesting. But I have a girlfriend out there now, and we've actually been dating each other for 3.5 months or something like that. Well, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of her. I forgot my GoPro this first trip out there, so um, yeah, but I should have some content in February when I go visit her again, because I'll try to remember to bring my GoPro. But yeah, this is her, me and her in an elevator going up to my first hotel room out there. It was a shitty hotel room. I'm sure you can guess because this is like a 1980s elevator with all the fucking mirrors, you know? So it was a pretty bad hotel. I chose it because, I'm vegan. So I picked the closest hotel possible to what was ranked as one of the best vegan restaurants in her city. And it was fucking good. I loved it. And it was cheap too. It was like it was like $8 a person or something. And yeah, she thoroughly enjoyed herself. I enjoyed myself. I'm actually her first guy, and I could definitely tell. And so she wants me to be her first and her last, and I would appreciate that. I would appreciate that much. However, she has a nephew, a baby nephew, and holy hell, babies annoy the crap out of me. So I'm not even sure if I want to reproduce, man, after all. I don't know about it. She's neutral on it. She doesn't care one way or another. Um, she's afraid out where I live. If we had kids, they would get made fun of because of how me and her are. Um, so she's pretty terrified of that. So I think she's leaning on preferring not to have kids and just enjoy our lives together, which, whatever. Babies annoy the crap out of me. I forgot about that when I wanted to embark on this quest. And little kids, like, while they're cute and stuff, they don't really annoy me any less than babies. So I can barely, y'all know about my past. I can barely be responsible for myself. So I don't know, being responsible for another human being, I'm just not even sure about it anymore. So, anyways, I wanted to talk about some stuff I have been learning while in a relationship again. Um, Me and one of my friends were talking about this, how, there's only so much, as girls call it, healing that you can do. There's only so much working on yourself mentally that you can do by yourself. And there's, no, not throwing shade to MGTOW or anything. If you plan on staying single indefinitely, and or just playing the field indefinitely and never settling down, never cohabitating or having kids or getting married, like, you can do all of the healing that you need to do in order to be that. But in my case, if you want to be like me and eventually get into another relationship after all the damage that has been done, um, to your faith and your everything, after all the damage that has been done, some of that damage, me and my friend that I was talking to about this believe, because he's been damaged in similar ways as I have, as I've told you in my stories on my old band channel. I don't care to go over those ever again on this channel, so anybody who's in the dark, just imagine the worst shit possible, the worst fucking experiences possible without getting married. The worst experiences possible with women without getting married. I've probably experienced all of them, including almost becoming a victim of homicide. Now, she wasn't successful, which is why I'm still here, but everything that comes before that, too, everything not as bad as that, um, is also included in my story. So just imagine, right? So yeah, me and my friend were like, shit, man. Like, you can do so much when you're single and alone, living in solitude. You can do enough to be sufficient for functioning really well in being single and in solitude. But there's some parts that, man, you just have to get into another relationship and work on it while you're in a relationship. The whole trust thing. Like, how can I trust a person that I'm dating, right? How can I work on learning to trust somebody that I date if I'm not currently dating somebody, right? So it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing if you want to, or maybe it's not. It's like you would like to do that healing, as chicks call it, all those chicks on TikTok and crap. You know, getting over my fucking baggage. It would be nice to get over all of my fucking baggage like that, and I think that's the ideal, as much as you can before getting into a relationship. But me, man, I have some deep-seated shit, man. And this girl, she is a sweetheart. She's been so fucking patient with me. She, without even asking, she sent me recordings of like all of the apps on her phone and stuff, and we stream our phone screens to each other and shit. It's mostly she wants to stream hers to me to reassure me, right? And then I just do it for her. She doesn't care if I do. Because since I'm her first and she wants me to be her last, she has very little baggage. We just have cultural differences and stuff, and that's kind of where we sit. We have arguments and stuff about some things. I mean, she's from slums, and I'm from, I guess originally lower middle class America, and then when I became an adult, I was in poverty at some points. So kind of like American slums, but it's different. And now I'm doing well in my career and own stuff and I'm doing well, right? So we have some cultural differences we argue about. But anyways, some of that baggage I found is the result of a lot of this like red pill and MGTOW content. Now again, no shade to MGTOW. I actually think it's probably in your best interest to stay single and not get married. I'm just a fucking idiot, all right? I'm stupid. So I'm planning on pulling the trigger on this because you can tell me the stove is hot and I'll touch it, and then I'll touch it like 36 times, and then, after a few years, I might, feel like touching the stove again because I'm a fucking idiot. I'm retarded. So I definitely don't recommend getting married or anything like that. I just like touching hot stoves. So MGTOW and I guess some of the red pill shit, like y'all have a really good perspective, I think. And yeah, I'm gonna deal with a lot of headaches. This is gonna be fucking expensive to get this girl over here. It's a headache. And we give each other a headache sometimes already, and but we're trying, I guess. But having exposure to a lot of that content, I think also gave me some baggage because I see these fucking patterns, right? And also I'm super cynical with this girl. I don't give her the benefit of the doubt immediately. I'm immediately cynical with her, and I'm trying my best to be patient. And I'm trying my best, but man, some days it's just fucking rough for me because she'll do something that's like slightly off, right? And every single chick I've ever met does something that's slightly off. Something that's just like, I know some of you are gonna say like red flags and stuff, but that's not quite it. It's just how women are. And and I think this ties in with one of the many reasons why I disassociated from the acronym MGTOW. The primary one being that I just didn't feel I didn't have faith in myself, and I did end up getting into a cohabitative relationship soon, not long after I shed the acronym. But I just don't think I have the strength, man. I have synthetic companions upstairs, in their boxes now. Um, yeah, they scratch the itch, but they don't pop the pimple, so to speak. They really don't for me. They scratch the itch, but they don't pop the fucking pimple. They don't break the skin and, get all that mosquito shit out of it. It's still there, and it still itches when I'm done. It itches real bad after long enough. And, so what the fuck was I saying about this shit? Well, anyways. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my reasons I shed the acronym MGTOW. Another one, a secondary reason is because I saw there's a lot of bad actors in MGTOW. Not a lot. I don't even know if it's the majority. There's enough to be vocal enough to turn me off to it. And maybe I was one of those players in it when I was drinking, because I was pretty unhappy back then, right? Because I had a problem that I hadn't dealt with yet. Well, those bad actors, like obvious incels who were just probably mad because they never got their dicks wet. Uh, and then bitter, uh, kind of like beta guys that they acted as welcome mats, and they never said anything about anything, got walked all over and then thrown in the shitter because they didn't command any respect. And that's something I find difficult in a relationship, is commanding respect. Um, I do, but man, it's just sometimes it's just hard to walk away and be quiet for a while. Because one of the biggest weaknesses you can show is emotion, and I've already shown emotion a couple times. Some of you might be like, it's already over at that point, but fuck, man, I'm working on it. Like I said, I'm this chick's first, and me personally, um, because I've experienced this one other time being a girl's first. Uh, Me personally, that plays heavily into my faith that a chick will at least somewhat maintain her respect for you, even if you do show some emotion, and will be loyal, right? Because man, that first girl where I was her first, um, there were times where I regretted breaking it off with her, and I think, if I recall correctly, the main reason I broke it off with her to begin with was I was just tired of being adored. I was tired of being almost worshipped, right? And that was stupid. I should have probably held on to her, maybe. Nah, I don't know. Maybe it would have turned out like shit anyway. I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know now, right? But this girl, I think because I was her first, right? I stand a chance to repeat history and do right this time. But yeah, about the bad actors, it just seemed like there were some guys that were not in MGTOW for right reasons, I guess. And in hindsight, I'm pretty sure I was one of those pretty early on. I had that red pill rage. I think a couple of you even pointed it out, where I had my eyes open to this stuff and I was angry about it. Sure, I was angry about it. The only thing that gave me legitimacy, I think, back then, and made me maybe not so much of a bad actor, was that I had and have extensive experience with women. I've been with very many women. And that's one thing I like about my current girl, by the way, is she doesn't feel threatened by that at all. It doesn't bother her. Um, she sees a lot of importance in physical purity for women, but doesn't see it as important for men because our age gap, right? She's early 20s, I'm late 30s, and she acknowledges that because she likes an older guy, she's gonna get an experienced guy like myself, most likely. I mean, there are virgins my age, but and they are more common than they used to be back in the day. However, they are significantly more likely to be unable to afford doing this kind of endeavor that I'm planning on doing, right? So I guess still her chances are pretty high that if she got an older partner like myself, he would be experienced. So she came to accept that, right? And that's one thing I like about her. My last girlfriend, she could not stand that shit. And that bitch, she would talk about her exes and name them by name, and she could go on a 2-hour rant about her ex, what he did for work, about his family, trips they went on together, and call him by name. At the end of our relationship, I mentioned the names of 3 of my exes because I never had, and I wanted to teach her a lesson right before she went out the door. And I told her, hey, listen to me. I never told you anything about my exes. You just know that I had many. And that alone would upset you. And you told me you would rant about your exes, and I know all their names. And I never told you anything about any of my exes, right? And I never told you any of their names. Well, here's 3 names of some of my exes. So I gave her 3 names, and she was fucking upset. It was like I destroyed her world once she heard 3 names of some of my exes. This girl doesn't mind. She's pretty awesome. And yeah, I can talk about my past experiences and it doesn't bother her at all. So anyways, um yeah, the MGTOW and Red Pill content, I think a lot of the bad actor stuff really stuck with me. Where they were just hating women because they hate women, right? And I'm like I said, I'm not even saying this is the half of MGTOW or Red Pill. Like it's probably not even 20%, right? But these voices are loud enough to be heard. And I heard that shit, and man, that kind of stuff can be damaging because it's addictive to hate on somebody for differences. It's addictive, right? And it's so easy to adopt that kind of hate just over differences, especially when you're in a community like that and want to stay away from anybody who is a member of that group. Of course, it's pretty easy to adopt hate for them and accept perspectives from individuals who hate individuals from that group, if you catch my drift, and to adopt some of their perspectives and take them seriously. It's kind of difficult to have a mind of your own, and I know a lot of you are able to do that, right? To have a mind of your own and be more at peace about it, be more stoic, and I don't know. Um, but anyways, I suppose I was negatively impacted by some of the loud voices of the minority that were not in it for maybe the right reasons. And that's had an impact on my functionality in a relationship. And again, this is the kind of shit like you can learn when you're by yourself. Kind of like you can pick up baggage in a relationship, right? But some of it, it's hard to get rid of, just all on your own. But yeah, anyways, I didn't really talk much about what exactly I wanted to talk about, and I guess I kind of talked around it a little bit, but I mean, I respect a lot of you guys in MGTOW and the Red Pill communities and stuff. I respect a lot of you guys, and I know a lot of you guys are good men and in it for the right reasons, and you're fucking right about a lot of shit. And like I said, it's not a good idea to get married. It's not a good idea to cohabitate. I'm just a fucking retard. So I don't recommend doing what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway. I mean, hell, you only live once, so me, I enjoy companionship. I want to pop that pimple, so to speak, and can't do it quite the same with a synthetic companion. Then I have dogs too. They're sentient beings, but fuck, it's just not the same for me. For me. If it is for you, or if it's even better, then fuck yeah, all the more power to you. And if you are completely happy rolling solo forever, I mean shit, more power and money to you. That's great. More freedom too. But me, I have a good friend that told me a long time ago, before my last relationship even, that I'm just a hopeless romantic. I'm fucked. But this girl, I think, given her background and her culture and how she was raised, her goals in life and stuff, I think she's as good of a pick as any. Um, for what I want to do, and that's lifelong companionship and having romantic fun time uh regularly and having somebody to experience life with. That's not a dog. I mean, dogs are great. They really are. But for me, again, it doesn't pop the pimple, man. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. I look forward to my trip out there again in February. It's gonna be a banger. What I talk about next time, I think, as long as everything goes smoothly. And I'll try to remember to bring my GoPro. But yeah, all y'all take care of yourselves out there. Peace for real, and have a good one.